Here's a detailed answer key for Proportional Relationship Study Guide. Let's start by reading the instructions. A recipe for lemonade calls for 4 tablespoons of powder mix for every 7 cups of water. If a person uses 12 tablespoons of powder mix, how many cups of water is needed? As you can see, level 1 is showing solving the problem using 1 representation. Level 2 is involving 2 representations, and level 3 is 3 representations. Let's go through each representation so that you can see how to do it. We'll start with ratios and tables. So I'm going to make a table and use green, where we know that we have tablespoons and cups. And Y is cups, X is tablespoons. For every 4 tablespoons of powder mix, we have 7 cups of water. So if we want to figure out for 12 tablespoons of powder mix, then we will need to multiply that by 3. And we do the same thing to the cups. Multiply that by 3, and we get 21. So there will be 21 cups of water for 12 tablespoons of powder mix. Now we're going to try to graph it. Let's use blue in this case. And in our graph, we have X, our tablespoons, and Y, which represents our cups. So I'm going 4, 8, 12 on the X, and then for the Y, I'm going to go 7, 14, 21. We know at 4 it's at 7. If we add another 4, we'll be at 14. If we add another 4, we'll be at 21. So at 12 tablespoons of powder mix, we will have 21 cups of water. In purple, we're going to try the equation. So our equation is y equals kx, where k is our constant proportionality, and we write k as y to x always ratio. So our y to x ratio is 7 to 4. So now I'm going to replace k with 7 over 4. So y is equal to 7 over 4x. Remember, we have 12 tablespoons of powder mix, and we need to figure out how much cups of water we need. So x represents our tablespoons, and y represents our cups. If we want to solve for this, well, we do y equals to 7 over 4 times our 12 tablespoons, because that represents x. 7 times 12 gives us 84. And then we have over 4. 84 divided by 4 is going to give us 21. So once again, we still have our answer as 21 cups of water for 12 tablespoons of powder mix. Last but not least, we're going to solve it using a proportion. So let's use orange in this case. So if we're solving as proportion, we want to set up our proportional fractions. We know that for 4 tablespoons, we have 7 cups. And we set that equal to, we know that there's 12 tablespoons we want to get to. And we're trying to figure out how many cups. So if we want to get from 4 to 12, multiply by 3. And if we want to get 7 to our unknown, we also multiply it by 3 in the denominator. So 7 times 3 is going to give us 21 cups. For number 2, it says circle the representations that are proportional. Level 1 means identifying some of the proportional relationships. Level 2 is where you identify most of them. And level 3 is where we identify all of them. So for whenever we're trying to identify proportional relationships, when we're looking at tables, the constant proportionality needs to be the same across all values. So when we're doing y divided by x, we should always get the same k value. Okay? That's when we're looking at tables. And if we're trying to determine if a graph is proportional, then we need to see that it goes through the origin, 0, 0. And it also needs to be a line. So we're going to take a look at each one. Okay, we can see that 0 times a number will never give us 2. 1 times 3 will give us 3. Does 3 times 3 give us 5? No, it doesn't. So this is not proportional. For a second one, 2 times 10 gives us 20. 3 times 10 gives us 30. 4 times 10 gives us 40. 6 times 10 gives us 60. So this is proportional. When we say y over x to find our k value, if you do 20 divided by 2 gives us 10, 30 divided by 3 gives us 10, 40 divided by 4 gives us 10, and 60 divided by 6 gives us 10. Our next one, we can see that 0 times a number will give us 0 times any number gives us 0. 1 times 1 gives us 1. 2 times 1 is our k value 1. It does not give us 4. 3 times 1 does not give us 9. So this is not proportional. For D, if we do 1 divided by -1, we get -1. If we do 0 divided by -1, we still get 0. If we do -1 divided by -1, we get 1. And we do -2 divided by -1, we get +2. So -1 is our constant proportionality. Okay, now let's look at E, F, and G. Let's see if they go through the origin and form a line. We can see that it goes to the origin and it is a line. This is proportional. For a second one, we can see that it's a line, but it does not go through the origin, not proportional. And for our last one, we can see that it does not go through the origin. It is not, and it is a line, but it's not proportional. Sorry, there's one more. And for the very last one, we can see that it goes to the origin and it forms a line, so it is proportional. So our answers for number 2, which representation are proportional, it will be B, D, E, and H. For number 3, solve for x, show your work. So we're going to be solving proportions. So remember, there are 3 rules when solving proportions. 1, can we find the scale factor? 2, if we can't find the scale factor, then we clear fractions by multiplying both denominators. And then 3, once we clear fractions by multiplying both denominators, we will divide both sides to isolate for the variable. So we'll start with A. Can we find the scale factor? Yes, we can divide by 6. 24 divided by 6 gives us 4, and 18 divided by 6 will give us 3. So x equals to 3. For B, can 6 go into 10 evenly? No, it cannot. So we're going to clear the fractions by multiplying both denominators. So we're going to multiply 15 and y on the right and 15 and y on the left. You can see that when we multiply 15 and y on both sides, the y's cancel out on the left hand side and the 15's cancel out on the right hand side, which leaves us with 15 times 6 equals to 10 times y. Now we simplify this and we get 15 times 6 gives us 90, and 10 times y gives us 10y. Last but not least, we're going to divide both sides to isolate for the variable. So we want to get the variable y by itself. So divide both sides by 10. Therefore, our final answer is going to be y is equal to 9, because 90 divided by 10 is 9. Okay, for C, it says an image is 6 inches long by 8 inches wide. So 6 inches long, 8 inches wide. 6 inches long over 8 inches wide. To shrink the image, so we're trying to make it smaller, shrink, what would be the length if the width is 5 inches? So the width is 5 inches. 5 inches is the width. That means our length has to be smaller. Okay, so can we find the scale factor from 8 to 5? No, we cannot. So now we're going to clear a fraction by multiplying both denominators, and our denominators are 8 and 5. So multiply 8 and 5 on the right hand side, and 8 and 5 on the left hand side. That's going to cancel out our 8's on the left hand side and our 5's on the right hand side. Now we have 5 times 6, which is 30, and x times 8, which is 8x. We're going to divide 8 on both sides to isolate for the variable x. So divide by 8, divided by 8, and 30 divided by 8, using some long division. 8 goes into 33 times. Bring down the 0 and add the decimal. 8 goes into 67 times. Bring down another 0, and 8 goes into 45 times. So our answer is going to be, to shrink the image, what would be the length if the width is 5 inches? The length will be 3.75 inches. Okay, for number 4, show your work for each problem. State your answer as a solution sentence. Calculators allowed. So April buys a sweater at a department store. The sweater costs $30. The store is having a 35% off sale on everything in the store. How much money does April save from the sale? Keyword is save. So it costs $30 and 35% off sale. So sale means the price is decreasing. So with that said, we're going to take $30, which is our original price, and we're going to multiply that by 0.35 because we want to figure out how much April is saving from the sale. So that ends up being $11.50 when you multiply that out. That's how much she's saving. Okay, April saves $11.50. Now, if we wanted to do it using method 1, this is method 2 right here. If you want to do method 1, which takes a little longer, you take your $30 and you will multiply that by 0.65. And you multiply by 0.65 because if we start at 100% and we know there is a 35% off, we subtract it from the 100% original price and we get 65%, which is written as 0.65. So $30 times 0.65 is going to give us $19.50. And if we want to figure out, that is what we call the final price. But if we want to figure out the savings, we're going to take $30, which is the original, minus the $19.50, which is the final price, and then we're going to get $11.50 for our savings. So that's level 1. Now we're going to move on to level 2. Elizabeth is buying her first car and wants to compare prices. If she buys a $25,000 car, so $25,000 car in California, she will pay 7.5% sales tax. If she buys a $27,000 car in Oregon, there is no sales tax. No sales tax. Where should she buy the car and how much is she saving? So we're going to do 2 calculations for this problem. We're going to start first with how much the car is in California. So if we take $25,000, we're going to multiply that by we're going to multiply that by 1.075 because 100% the original price, add in the 7.5%, will give us 175%, which equals to 1.075 as a decimal. So 25,000 times 1.075, we're going to get a total cost in California of $26,875. Now, if we do Oregon, we know that Oregon doesn't have sales tax, so it'll just be a flat $27,000. The question is, where should she buy the car and how much is she saving? So we compare the 2 prices, $27,000 versus the $26,875. We're going to see that it's cheaper to buy in California than in Oregon. And it's going to be cheaper by $125. So she saves $125 buying in California instead of Oregon. Okay, last problem. Martin earns $1,820 per month. Because of his hard work, Martin will be receiving a 20% pay raise. So that means he's going to get more money over time. He also wants to create an emergency fund by saving 15% of his total earnings. How much extra money did Martin earn from the pay raise? And also, how much money will Martin save for every month for the emergency fund? So there's 2 questions in this problem. How much extra money did Martin earn from the pay raise? So we'll talk about the pay raise problem first. To figure out the pay raise, we're going to take the $1,820, and we know we're increasing, so we can multiply by 0.20. We'll do method 1. Last time we did method 2. We'll do method 2 this one, because last time we did method 1. Either method works. So $1,820 times 0.20 will give us a $364 extra money Martin earned from the pay raise. So $364 was how much extra money Martin earned from the pay raise. Okay. How much money will Martin save every month for the emergency fund? So if we are now trying to calculate the emergency fund, we know that the emergency fund is created by saying 50% of the total earnings. So we need to find the total earnings. To find the total earnings, what we're going to do is take the $1,820 that he originally earned, add in the $364 in pay raise. That would give us a total of $2,184, which is the total monthly after the pay raise. And we're going to multiply that by 15% because we want to find how much he is saving every month after his total earnings. So 2,184 times 0.15, we get $327.60. $327.60 is the total, is the monthly savings for his emergency fund.